Hi Virgo, welcome to your deep love read for September. I hope you guys are doing great. Let's get right into this. We're going to start with a yes/no spread. So I want you to think about a question having to do with a relationship, whether you're in one now, or you guys are in a weird space, broken up, maybe you're single, anything like that. Ask the question. You want to ask it the same way all 3 times. Please be relaxed though as you look at the cards and consider your question in the same way, full sentence format, same way all 3 times. If you're not sure how to really relax, it's very important we relax our shoulders, right? So you're going to take a deep belly breath in, fill your belly with air, and exhale. It's very hard to keep your shoulders tight when you do that kind of breathing, okay? Just focus on the cards and the shuffling. Ask the same question all 3 times. Okay, don't honor reversals in the yes, no. We're going to be pulling 3 cards. Card number 1, 7 of Pentacles. Okay, 7 of Pentacles is a yes card. Card number 2, King of Swords. That is the second yes card. Card number 3, 10 of Swords. That is a no card. So we have 2 yeses and a no, which means yes, not yet. Let's see what we need to understand here about these cards, these energies. Seven of Pentacles, first of all, is about a new cycle. So this can have to do with either one of you or both of you are busy in a new cycle having to do with making money. So this can be really working very hard. It can be a very frustrating time, quite honestly. It's a Saturn and Taurus energy where maybe things are not going as well with finances as one would like, all right? This could also have to do with the mental, physical, and emotional connection, right? Where there is this need to start a new cycle within this connection, within this relationship. Now, this could be for those of you who are in relationship already or who are maybe temporarily separated, where you're in this space where the work that's required in order to fix it, to move forward, is not impossible, but it's really challenging right now. But it ends up being really, really good. Like it's less than challenging, it's more of like a frustration. So you guys may together be dealing with a number of frustrations having to do with perhaps money, resources, the ability to be together, something, it could be something that directly is from your relationship or something external that's impacting it as well. So we have the 6 of Wands, clarifying that, and we have the Lover's energy. Okay, so the Lover's energy is a Gemini energy. So what we have here is the need to make a decision, right? I mean, the Lover's energy is the need to make a decision. Are we going to do this or are we not? And if we are, we have to really figure out where the holes and the fissures in the foundation of this relationship is, and we really have to focus on really dedicate ourselves to fixing that, right? There's recognition here that there's stuff, that it's not perfect, and you're not going to ride off into the sunset or anything like that, but that it's going to take some hard work. There's definitely this recognition of there being hard work, but what I like is the 6 of Wands is that you have the inflection of success here. It's beautiful. This is about mutual respect and success, but it does mean that there's going to need to be some work put in. Now, if you're single, you may be in this very frustrated space initially where it's like you feel like no matter who you meet, they're not the right one, or you're just not meeting people who at the end of the day are like right for you. They're just like, Virgo rising here, so I'm not throwing shade on anyone, right? But very picky. You might not think so, but you are. Right? I mean, it is what it is, and very critical kind of thinking, so it can certainly have that kind of energy, right? But it's this, with the Lover's energy can indicate, though, making this decision where you say, you know what, I'm single. This might not be the easiest thing to meet somebody new, but I might need to change the way I approach things here. I might need to change the way I approach relationship. I might need to tweak how I am in relationship, because if I am able to do that, I will bring myself success in relationship. Doesn't mean that there's nothing wrong with you. I'm just saying, like, maybe you are too critical. Just saying, like, that's something that Virgo energies are consistently told. You know, I mean, there's a shadow side and there's a positive side, right? Virgo is also the most pragmatic energy out of the entire zodiac. Absolutely. The problem solvers of the zodiac. The best workers, hands down, right? I mean, all of these things are fabulous, fabulous components. Like, you take care of yourself. You understand what that means. You have the ability to see the big picture in things. That's amazing. But with that comes this idea that, A, you're very critical on yourself. You're very critical of yourself, but you're very critical of other energy. So maybe you're realizing, like, you know what? Like, look, I can't make myself like blue if I don't like blue. If I'm critical, I'm critical. But maybe I could change the way I get the points across. Maybe I could, right? Maybe I could adjust the way that I come across in that way, right? And then next we have the King of Swords. Let's pull 2 qualifiers for that. We have the Unknown card. And then we have the Ace of Wands. Oh, I have to pull for the Unknown card. 9 of Swords, okay. Yeah, that's like anxiety that you don't really want to look at. So when I get the Unknown card and then like a 9 of Swords or any kind of like anxiety energy, I feel like it's like this low level, insidious kind of anxiety that you might be feeling right now about relationships. But let's look at the fabulous King of Swords though first. So King of Swords is a great energy. It's Capricorn and Aquarius. It's putting your hard work into creating a new future. I mean, that's what it is. And how is this happening? Is it's through communication and through ideas and epiphanies and really focusing on the mental aspects of a situation, Virgo, rather than allowing your emotions and your heart run the show. Not that you're not going to be absent of feelings. It's not at all, but it's being very realistic and very realistic about any structures that you need to deal with right now, any areas of restriction, right? Because Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, right? So we have that, and then we have Aquarius, which is about the future, right? So you just have to understand that it's about being very mental, very practical and pragmatic in your approach to relationship in general, whether you're single, you're with somebody now, or you're in a space of separation. You have to be very practical and very pragmatic now, and don't allow your emotions to wash over everything right now. You know, there is this desire, this very strong desire to have this new beginning, to have this new attraction, this passion, it's like almost like you feel like, in a way, there's this element of that missing. Like it's been a long time since you have felt that new excitement that you really very much want to feel, right? And what is inciting this is this desire, right? I mean, listen, when we have the King of Swords, it's not easy to get there, but we have to stay focused on the end goal, right? Which is such a great thing that Virgo is good at. Focus on the end goal. You want this new beginning. Understand that you are experiencing some low-level anxiety. This is the 9 of Swords. It's Mars and Gemini. It's figuring out this new path, this new perspective, right? Because Mars always wants that for us, right? Mars is the Tower as well, right? Mars wants... Think about what Mars is. Mars is war. Why do we go to war? We go to war to solve things. We don't have to agree that that's the best strategy, but let's just stick with the metaphor of it, okay? To go in and to fight for what we think is right so that things could be better tomorrow, right, so to speak, right? So that things could be more just, so that things could be set right, right? Again, right or right, we're not going to argue and split hairs over whether that's the right strategy, but that is Mars. So what Mars really wants us to do is Mars wants us to understand that we need to be put on a new path or to handle something in a different way in order for us to have a fresh path and a new perspective. There needs to be a change in how things are considered, how things, your self-talk, how you communicate to people, and just the way you're thinking about something needs to be adjusted. So the way you're thinking about a particular situation needs to be adjusted. And the best way to do that is in the King of Swords energy. There's no question. There's no question about that. Because again, it's not that it's an unfeeling energy, but it's just like, you know, you see him there with the sword. It's like, what's the truth? Let's stick with the truth. Now we have the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords is really being in something that just doesn't make sense anymore and needing to end it. It's Mercury and Virgo, right? It's one sword at a time over time. The whatever it is, the lies, the deflection, the gaslighting, whatever it was, gossip, whatever it was, over time, it just didn't even make sense to stay in it anymore in the way that it was, kind of thing, okay? So we have the Empress as a clarifier number 1. And then we have Ten of Cups as clarifier number 2. Wow, pretty incredible. Because the Empress is a Venus energy, and she's the mother of the tarot. It's all about, well, first of all, this could be quite literally somebody becoming pregnant, or learning that they're pregnant, or realizing that they want to have children after all with somebody. It's a very basic interpretation of it. But the Empress, you know, because she's the mother of the tarot, what does she do? There's you know, this cultivation, this culmination, there's a birthing process, and then it's done all over again because she's perpetually pregnant. But it's a Venus energy. So it's this creation of things that we value, right? And it's a growing of things that we value. So it's love, it's money, it's self-worth. It's all of these fabulous things that we cultivate, that we create to make happen for us. So the Ten of Swords, even though it's like, all right, you know what? The way that was going down, no. Can't happen like that anymore. It's got to be done. I'm not happy with the way that it was that way. Either you're saying that, they were saying that, whatever the case was. But then we have the Empress energy saying, let's really focus on what we each value here. And let's figure out a way of building this and mending it. All right? I mean, that's what it is. Let's focus on what's important. Let's focus on what we value and making the decision to fix that. Because that could be fixed. It's a minor arcana. It's minor. It's, you know. And then we have the Ten of Cups, which is lovely. Ten of Cups is a Mars and Pisces energy. And it's about, you know, that warrior planet, though. We want the warrior planet in our dream space, because then we become very motivated to create and formulate for ourselves what it is that we really, really want. You know, but we can't do it alone. We're doing it with somebody in the Ten of Cups energy. And, you know, there's an element of time here as well. So things need to be addressed the way they were. And you have to be really honest with yourself, Virgo. You know what? If you were in a situation where somebody was not doing something right and you really want to get back with them, you can't sacrifice what you know to be true just because you want to get back into that relationship. Because what the cards are telling me here is if you maintain your integrity, and you maintain what you know to be true, and you're honest with yourself about how it's making you depressed or how it's making you anxious, that means something's not right. You can't go back to the way that it was if you guys are in a space of separation right now, for those of you in that space. You can't do that anymore. That's got to be done. That's got to be addressed. For those of you who are in a relationship right now and you're just in a really weird cycle within the relationship, you can't allow whatever unhealthy behavior was going on in the past to resurface and be a thing anymore. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. Now, for those of you who are single, you want to first of all make sure that you're not approaching relationship from too much of a mental place, right? Because here we are, the King of Swords. It's like, okay, well, how much do you make a year, and what's your sign, what's your rising sign, and you know, and where do you live, and how do you dress, and I need to know the food you eat, and I need to know specifically every stand on every political issue that you have. You know, you want to be careful of that. You want to be careful of that, because you don't want that to be, you have to understand that if you're approaching relationship from too much of a mental place, that is a way of trying to protect yourself from any sort of fear or any sort of getting hurt. Now you say, well, I mean, isn't that common sense? Well, there can be overkill there, because you may not be exactly correct in how you're approaching the situation, is what I'm saying here. So just a little FYI if you guys are in a single space, right? But I do like that. I feel like there's going to be this sense of like, you know what? Yeah, I don't want to be single anymore. I want to be with somebody. I want to let that cycle be done, and I want to allow myself to meet someone, grow with somebody, and have that happily ever after. And not to sound like a Hallmark card, but you know what I'm saying? Like to allow yourself to have that, and to not either get in your own way or allow yourself to be exposed to energies who just can't bring that to you. So the King of Swords energy is going to be being very mindful of what works for you, what doesn't work for you, but you don't want to be too dug into what you're willing to accept and not accept. You know, have your loose rules, but be flexible is really what I'm saying here. Okay. For those of you who are single. But I don't feel like this is going to be happy, you know, because we have to remember, right? We have, and that's how I always say, I'm not going to bring the astrology in, and I always do. Venus is going from Cancer into Leo, like the September 6th, 7th. And then we still have that stellium happening. So depending on where Venus is, many of us are dealing with squares in the stellium, depending on where in our own personal chart. So there might just be this not being able to make it happen right now in the here and now, whatever it is that you're moving forward in. So there might be, that may be like the not yet kind of thing because of that, because of the retrogrades. But let's see what the Lenormand say, okay? Okay, Ruby, foundation. That could indicate marriage, relationship, engagement, but foundation nonetheless. Oh, okay, we have the fish. That is to do with resources, money, really working with what you have right now. Then we have the Tower, which is not the same as in tarot. It's actually very supportive. And then we have the Moon, which is really looking at something more deeply. Okay. And feeling love, feeling deep emotions. Okay, so let's see here. So we have resources, we have support. This is all about support. Oh, Virgo, I'm feeling like, okay, for those of you who are in a space of separation, there is this element of really wanting to, because the fish is about resources. It's about working with what you have, accepting what it is that you have, but working as hard as you can, doing the best that you can, and accepting that doing the best you can is the most you can ask of yourself and of another person. So I feel like that needs to be a lesson here, either for you or for your partner, is then we have the Tower. And the Tower is about protection. And it's about, you know, somebody having your back. And it's like a large institution taking care of. So it could be having to do with a large corporation, a large institution. This doesn't have to be. It could just be general protection. And then we have the Moon. And the Moon is I feel. But it's reflecting on love, and it's reflecting on the sun, right? It's looking at the Moon is looking at the sun. And what do I need to feel warm? What do I need to feel loved? But then there's this information coming in. This is right. This is the rider, and the rider is all about the mess. She got the messenger in her messenger bag, and she's on the carousel. And this is the one that goes up and down. So this is about a cycle. This is a new cycle. So there's some sort of new cycle coming in that you're realizing, and you're realizing something about the past. You're looking behind you here. You're looking behind you at this relationship that maybe made you feel, you know, you really had everything that you wanted, and you had everything, and you wanted all of that. But maybe for some of you, this is the recognition that this is what you thought you had, but maybe it wasn't exactly what you thought you had, because the Moon can be very illusory, right? The Moon can be very, very illusory. That's the thing. Because in tarot, the Moon is Pisces. Now, it gets confusing because the Moon does rule Cancer in astrology, but in tarot it rules Pisces, and Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and there's a lack of clarity there. So you may have been looking at this past relationship through rose-colored glasses, things that you didn't really realize. But maybe you're realizing now with this message that's coming in that it's time for a new cycle in either in this connection or all together. Let me just pull one more because it's coming through pretty clear. Oh my gosh, we have the stars. So this whole thing is very preordained. It's just the whole damn thing is preordained. You can't try as you will to make change. This is very necessary. Yeah. Preordained energy here. There's no question. It's a new cycle that's preordained. But there was something that's gone on in this connection that you were not seeing very clearly while you were in it. That you're realizing now. Yeah, okay, it's the past. This is the present. Challenge. We have more swords. Could we have more swords, really? All right, come on now. So we have in the past disillusionment, disappointment, focusing on the 3 cups that are down, focusing on the disappointment. This is Mars and Scorpio. Mars, that warrior planet, in the element of transformation, in the death of something. Right now we have the 4 of Swords energy. You're not doing anything. You're not calling them. They're not calling you. You guys are, if you're together, there's not really open communication. This is taking a time out, a pause from the whole thing, reflecting on where you've been together, reflecting on what needs to be left in the past, what you might need to take into the future. But for the moment, it is not doing much of anything except resting. There's a lot of rest that's necessary here. The challenge is going to be some epiphanies and some realizations that are coming to you. The Page of Swords is about like these light bulb movements, these epiphanies, these, oh my God, how did I not see that before? What is wrong with me? How did I not see that? Right? And making the decision that whatever it was, however it was, minor arcana, but it is still recognizing that there was toxicity and you need to move away from it. Making that decision. So yeah, I mean, I do see that. I do see with this moon is just like, all right, I'm not seeing absolutely everything here. You may have had these epiphanies last month, 2 months ago, or yesterday. I mean, because this is the 5 of Cups is in the past. So I feel like this pain happened. You know, there was the disconnection. You're in this pause space. The challenge here is, though, this realization of something and you making the decision to walk away from it, because the way it was never going to work for you. Even though you have very strong feelings for the person, it doesn't matter. Okay. So, I mean, I see some sort of communication coming in. The 8 of Wands is a various communication. It's, you know, proclamation. This is a fast-moving energy. It's let's do this. Let's do, you know, really a very fast-moving energy. It's very, very positive. It really is. And then we have a Sagittarius and Capricorn energy, Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, this is just about let's put the work in. Let's do things this way. And I feel like it might happen so quickly, though. You're going to be very confused about it, Virgo. Very confused. It's like 7 of Cups is, you know what's in 5 of the Cups. You don't know what's in 2. You're like, I don't know what to believe. This is Venus and Scorpio. I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of options right now. I'm really not sure what to do. And that, you know, there's a danger here. I'm wearing rose-colored glasses and not seeing the red flags, which I kind of feel like was going on up here. But I feel like at the end of this, Virgo, I feel like you're going to be making the decision to walk away. I do feel like that. Now, this is going to be different for each of you. But I just feel like, because it's a Saturn and Pisces energy, and Saturn, it becomes too challenging. Everything becomes one roadblock after another. There's all these restrictions. You're going to feel like it's just not free and clear. You know, they're not being honest. They're not being open. They're not getting on board with something that needs to be gotten on board with. And you're just realizing this. And the thing here, though, is I have to tell you that by the time you get to this energy, you're going to feel sad, but you're not going to feel any regret, because you're going to know you tried your hardest. You just want to make sure that however this ends, it ends with grace and dignity, and that's it. And no ghosting or anything like that. Unless you're dealing with an energy, and my caveat is always, unless you're dealing with an energy who is a true blue narcissist, or who's somebody who just, where you fear for your life, or, you know what I mean, something like that, which would be obviously an exception. Then, get out of Dodge as quick as you can. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about, you don't want to just ghost somebody. I'm not saying that you would, but if they do, the thing is, when you're talking about the Eight, especially the Eight of Cups energy, if you don't handle that with grace and dignity, it ends up creating some nasty karma for you. And we have enough of that from our South Node. We don't need anything else, right? Okay, guys, so that is what I have for you there. And then let's pull some oracles. So the oracles are for those that are perhaps really not in the best situation right now in a relationship. So we're going to start with my homemade oracles. Okay, let's see what messages we get. Let's pull a few of these. Our Virgo friends. I need more time to figure things out, but I don't want to lose you. Interesting. I love everything about you, even though I may not like you sometimes. I know I lack balance, but it's not so easy to look at. I need more time to figure things out, but I don't want to lose you. Now that's a tricky energy, because what goes on with that? You know what I mean? What does that mean? I need more time. To what? To see if they want to be with somebody else better? To see if they don't want to just be on their own? Just saying. I never really understood that. What does that really mean? I need more time. There's always something on the other side of that. Then I love everything about you, even though I may not like you sometimes. I know I lack balance, but it's not so easy to look at. Well, the lack of balance could certainly be informing this first card. I need more time to figure things out, but I don't want to lose you. Then we have kisses, unconditional loving, giving and receiving affection, falling in love. Wedding rings, union, wedding, married, soul connection, eternal love, everlasting promise. Twin flames, oh my gosh, hello. Yin yang, balance, union, coupling, complement each other. Oh yeah, you just have to laugh sometimes. I mean, that's, yeah. You could be walking away, they could be walking away. That Eight of Cups energy, it's a minor arcana. According to these oracles, guys, they don't think it's going to last. They don't. I don't. And the wedding rings is a metaphor. You guys don't have to actually make it official. You know what I mean? It's like that level of relationship. So we have 10 of Swords. Okay, we're going to need a 10 of Swords. We need a 10 of Swords here if this relationship is going to work, right? 10 of Cups. You saw, I just shuffled these. So we have 10 of Swords. Yeah, I mean, this is just reinforcement of the fact that something needs to end in order for the happiness to happen. But there needs to be a very logical approach to the whole thing. It's not a good idea to get involved and get very swept up in the emotions of anything. Stay very much in the mind, right? But understand that it just doesn't make what happened before, this lack of balance, this I need more time to figure things out, but I don't want to lose you. You know, listen, regardless of how this is, whether that's, if this is the person that you're dealing with and they're like, I don't want to lose you, just be like, oh, really? Because what am I doing? Like, going to hang out here waiting for you until you're ready? What is that about? You know? And if you're doing that to somebody else, you got to get in touch with what are you unsure about that person? And why do you feel like you're trying to fit a circle in a square? Just saying, right? We don't have to like each other all the time. Who likes everybody all the time anyway? That's illogical. But this energy does lack balance, but I feel like there's going to be a coming around, Coming around, a coming around. Let me pull a card on that top row, please, because it's like pretty much the same kind of energy. I'm getting death and rebirth. I mean, hello, here we go. That's it, death and rebirth. Something ending and something being reborn again. And whatever wacky nonsense was going on in the last cycle is not going to happen this time around, because you're not going to let it. And you're not going to let it, and they're not going to let it either. Because you know what? I feel like this person, they don't want to have that lack of balance. They don't want to feel like that, but it's not easy to look at. All right. I mean, look. All right. Good. I think that's a good reading. Those of you in that space, yeah, absolutely. Just pull an astral card. See what energy you need to tap into in order to help you through the month of September, having to do with relationships. It's going to be really helping you out. What do you need to tap into? Venus. Venus is going to be in Leo, right? Very nice. Beauty, harmony, romance, charm, receiving, sensuality, magnetism, attraction, just love, and something you value. Beautiful. All right. That's what I have for you, my friends. I hope this was helpful in some way. See you in a couple of days to do the reading for the second week in September there. We'll talk about career and everything else. Hope you guys are awesome. If you like this, please like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. I really appreciate it. And see you guys next time. Bye-bye.